I stood in the hospital waiting room, holding the paper that would end my mother's life support, and my brother was screaming at me about inheritance money that didn't even exist yet. His face was red, spit flying from his mouth, calling me selfish, greedy, a terrible daughter. And behind him, my ex-boyfriend Jake stood silent, arms crossed, nodding along like this was perfectly reasonable. The same Jake who'd left me 3 years ago because I wasn't fun anymore while I was caring for our dying father. The same Jake who was apparently now dating my brother and helping him plan how to squeeze every last cent out of our mother's estate before her heart even stopped beating. That's when I realized something. I was done being the good daughter. Done being the doormat. Done letting people use my kindness as weakness. I looked at both of them, smiled, and said 6 words that changed everything. Mom already changed her will yesterday. Let me back up because you need to understand how I got here. I'm the oldest of 2 kids. My brother Tyler is 4 years younger, and from the day he was born, he was the golden child, could do no wrong. Got away with everything. I was the responsible one. The one who helped with homework, who worked part-time through high school to help with bills, who gave up my college fund so Tyler could go to his dream school. I told myself it was fine. Family helps family. When I was 25, I met Jake. He was charming, funny, had big dreams about starting his own business. We dated for 3 years. Moved in together. I worked 2 jobs to support us while he built his brand, which mostly meant playing video games and occasionally posting on Instagram about entrepreneurship. I paid rent, groceries, utilities, everything. $1,400 a month from my paycheck. Gone. He contributed maybe $200. But he loved me. He said he did anyway. Said once his business took off, he'd pay me back everything. That we were a team. Then my dad got sick. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months to live, they said. He lasted 4. Those 4 months I was at the hospital every single day after work. Feeding him. Reading to him. Holding his hand while he cried about not seeing grandkids. Jake came twice. Twice in 4 months. Said hospitals depressed him. That he needed to focus on positive energy for his business. I came home one night, exhausted, eyes red from crying, and found him packing. He said he couldn't do this anymore. That I'd become too heavy, too sad, too focused on death. That he needed someone who could match his energy. He left, just like that. Took his stuff and moved in with some girl he'd met at a networking event. Didn't even help with the rent that month. My dad died weeks later. Tyler showed up to the funeral in a designer suit, talked about how hard this was for him, then left early to go to a party. Didn't help plan anything. Didn't pay for anything. I covered the funeral costs. $8,000 I didn't have. I put it on credit cards. After Dad died, Mom started declining. Dementia, they said. She'd forget where she was, who we were, what year it was. Within a year, she needed full-time care. Guess who stepped up? Me. I moved her into my apartment. Quit my second job to care for her. Changed her clothes, fed her, bathed her, stayed up all night when she wandered. Tyler visited once a month if I was lucky. Always had an excuse. Work was busy, he had plans. His girlfriend needed him. But he always asked about Mom's finances. How much was in her accounts? What was the house worth? Whether she'd updated her will. I'd tell him to stop being morbid. He'd laugh it off. Say he was just being practical. Then last year, Mom had a stroke. Massive. Left her in a vegetative state. The doctor said she wouldn't recover. That we needed to decide about life support. I was devastated. Tyler seemed more concerned about the hospital bills. That's when Jake reappeared. I saw him at a coffee shop near the hospital. Hadn't seen him in almost 3 years. He acted friendly. Asked how I was doing. I was too tired to be angry, so I told him. About Mom. About the decision I had to make. He was sympathetic. Kind. Said if I ever needed to talk, he was there. I thought maybe people could change. 2 weeks later, Tyler called. Said he wanted to meet about Mom. I drove to his apartment. And who opened the door? Jake, holding a beer. Smiling. That's when I found out they'd been dating for 6 months. My brother and my ex. I felt sick, but I tried to be mature. People fall in love. It's weird, but whatever. Then we sat down to talk about Mom. Tyler slid a folder across the table. Power of attorney documents. He wanted me to sign everything over to him. Said I was too emotional to make rational decisions. That he'd handle Mom's affairs from now on. I asked why. He said because someone needed to think practically. That keeping Mom alive was costing thousands a week. That her savings were draining. That we needed to pull the plug and settle the estate. I stared at him. My baby brother. The one I'd sacrificed everything for. Talking about our mother like she was a financial burden. I said no. He exploded. Called me selfish. Said I was keeping her alive for sentimental reasons while her money disappeared. That I'd already taken enough from the family. Jake jumped in. Sighed Tyler was right. That I needed to stop being so emotional and think logically. That this was the kind of thinking that held me back in life. That's when something in me snapped. I stood up, walked out, didn't say a word, but I wasn't crying anymore. I was planning. I went straight to Mom's lawyer, the one who'd handled Dad's estate. I brought every document I had, every receipt for care I'd provided, every credit card statement showing what I'd paid, every text from Tyler asking about money but never offering help. The lawyer listened, then he made a call. Turns out, Mom had updated her will 5 years ago, right after Dad died. She'd had a moment of clarity and wanted to make sure things were protected. The house, the savings, the life insurance, everything was in a trust. I was the trustee. Tyler got a token amount. $5,000, that's it. But here's the thing. Tyler didn't know. Mom's lawyer had sent the documents to my address since I was listed as primary contact. Tyler thought everything was split 50-50. I'd never corrected him because it never came up. Until now. I spent the next 2 weeks gathering everything. Hospital records showing I was the only one visiting. Financial statements showing I'd covered thousands in care costs. Text messages from Tyler asking about money. I even got a recording perfectly legal in my state of Tyler and Jake discussing their plan for after Mom died. How they'd sell the house immediately. Take the cash. Maybe travel for a while. Jake actually laughed and said, "At least something good came from all this." I wanted to vomit, but I stayed quiet. Let them think I was just the emotional, broken daughter who'd eventually give in. Then Mom's condition worsened. The doctors said it was time. We needed to make the decision. Tyler called a family meeting at the hospital. Brought Jake with him. Had the audacity to bring that power of attorney paperwork again. That's when the scene from the beginning happened. Him screaming, Jake nodding. Me standing there holding the life support decision paperwork. And that's when I said it. Mom already changed her will yesterday. The room went silent. Tyler's face went from red to white. What? I pulled out my phone. Showed him the trust documents, dated 5 years ago. His name was there. $5,000. Everything else? Mine. Because I was the one who'd been there, who'd sacrificed. Who'd cared? He grabbed the phone. Read it. His hands started shaking. This isn't real. You forged this. I pulled out the lawyer's business card. Call him. He's expecting you. Tyler called, hands trembling. I watched his face as the lawyer confirmed everything. When he hung up, he looked destroyed. You knew. This whole time you knew. I nodded. And I watched you plan how to spend Mom's money like she was already dead. I listened to you call me selfish while you calculated her net worth. I recorded you and your boyfriend laughing about profiting off her death. Jake stepped forward. You recorded us? That's illegal. Actually, it's not. One-party consent state. Look it up. I turned to Tyler. I'm taking Mom off life support tomorrow. Because it's the right thing to do. Not because of money. You won't be notified. You won't be invited. You'll get your $5,000 in 6 to 8 weeks after probate. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. I walked past them both. Didn't look back. Mom passed peacefully the next morning. I was holding her hand. Tyler tried to come to the funeral. I had him escorted out. He tried to contest the will. The lawyer laughed at him. He tried to get Jake to testify that I'd been abusive or manipulative. Jake refused, apparently having enough self-awareness to realize he looked terrible in this story. Last I heard, Tyler burned through his $5,000 in 3 months. Lost his apartment. Jake left him for someone with better financial prospects. He's living with a friend now.
Works retail, we don't speak.
I used mom's life insurance to pay off all the debt I'd accumulated caring for both parents. Put the rest in savings. Sold the house. Bought a small condo. Started therapy. Started living for myself for the first time in my entire life. People ask if I feel guilty. If I regret cutting off my brother, here's my answer. You can't guilt someone who knows their worth. Tyler thought my kindness was weakness. He thought because
I'd always given, I'd always give.
He forgot that the same person who sacrifices everything is also the person strong enough to walk away when you mistake their love for stupidity. Yes, I can do this. I can set boundaries. I can protect myself. I can let people face the consequences of their cruelty. And I can sleep peacefully knowing that karma isn't something that happens to people. Sometimes, karma is just reality finally catching up with expectations. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life confessions about family, betrayal, and learning when enough is enough. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had to cut off a family member who took your kindness for granted? I want to hear your story. Thanks for watching.